All right, everyone. Hello, one and all. I'm your host, Badger Wild, and we are back with the good old Arctans. We are now working on this baby, and we've been able to get a lot of things done to it last time. And with the shape of it, she looks amazing. A coat of paint, and this thing will be the nicest looking ship we've got. We may do a couple of little modifications. We are getting a baseline shape figured out and figuring out some other things. Another thing I'm wanting to work on today, though, is to get the bridge done. Because we can then get the bridge done, then I'm going to have to cut a section out here and really work on the bottom half of this vessel and get it looking really good. Run everything in there and make it look all nice and fancy right there. So without further ado, we can probably just go ahead and get started. So we've got a nice area here. I've got all these other areas figured out. I am going to have to at some point figure out where I'm going to put guns right about in here because the Architens does have a series of guns that are on the side. It's got like three sets of guns, two small like anti-fighter guns, and then it's got some type of broadside cannon that can be fired. And I don't know how that's going to work. I also got to figure out some type of cannon because I tried making a cannon over in our survival server that we're doing, and it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to turn out. So yeah, that's a problem. That's an issue. I think what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna remove that, so it's not a problem anymore. And I need to figure out how we're gonna get up and down here. How are we gonna get up and down from this area? Now I could run a. Well, let's take this out. I could run something from here. Because another thing is I've got to get that figured out. Let me drop right in here and look at this for a second. Yeah, that looks really cool. I'm glad I did this like this. Now, all I'm hoping is that this thing is airtight enough that I don't have to worry about a whole lot. We got gyros in here, and we have gyros in here as well on this side. So I may just turn this into a gyroscopic room, just for giggles. I don't know if I need a storage compartment over here or not. I might. One of the reasons I say I don't know if I need it or not is because I've got this big area that I can drop at least one large cargo container into, and I can also drop a refinery into as well, and then just kind of corridor it off. So that's a possibility. But right now, I got to figure out how I'm going to get from point A to point B. And one thing I think I'll probably have to do. Let's do this so I can see. There now. What am I looking at here? Nope, I needed that mirror section. Hold up now. Okay, we don't need that to happen right now. We've got everything we need right in here. As well as I believe I can hit this, and then we enter in this area here. We'll have to figure some stuff out in this area. I think we're gonna have maybe a set of piping going this way, so that I can lock on to certain things, and then we're gonna have probably some type of room in the middle you can walk into, just be like the main hallway. And then I got to figure out like I can go right to here, and then in this area we can also add some places to live. I suppose I think crew quarters probably be the best thing to say. Call that, and then we can start building all this other stuff. First off, I got to figure out how I'm gonna get into this bad boy, and I got to make also sure that all this is connected so that if I do something, it's not gonna ruin it. Let's go ahead and copy the Architens real quick. This is something I like to do. We'll copy up our Architens a bit more. And we'll put a backup variant right out here. So we got our backup Architens. We got another Architens. Look at that, though. I mean, let's pull back here and just appreciate the fact that we have 2 Architens in this game at the moment. It's amazing. It's just awesome. I'm loving every minute of it. So now we have this one. And I'm going to have to connect this section to here. So that is all in place. And then, let's see here. How are we going to be able to do this? I may have to go back to my references, but let's go ahead and see. Let's go ahead and see if we can get us a nice... That didn't work out. That's not what I want. I want that there. Let's... no. Let's grab that, and then we're going to do this. We're going to flip this over. And that's about where our... Actually, no, let's not do that. That's going to be a little low. It's going to be a little high. Actually, a little high, I mean. We're not going to do that. We're going to go ahead. Let me pop out of here real quick. Out of YouTube. I'll run over here and look at the... Look at my Architens reference here. Because I have a reference. Let's see. Okay. So where that pushes in, right about there, we're at perfect where we need to be at. I need to probably bring this up just slightly more. And then start building the actual Architens around that. Yeah, that'll do. This is why reference photos are so necessary. Okay, yeah, we stopped moving for a little bit, folks. But I think what I'm going to do is we're going to do about that there. And then... Actually, I may take that. I may not make that as big. Right there. Right, that's working. Let me see one more time. Let me look at this reference photo here. So I can see... Okay, it's almost a straight around. So... Figuring things out. We probably could do that. Do that there. And there we go. And then we can push this around there and make that the bridge area. Let's see how that looks. The bridge is a little big for the size of ship we're building. Around here and looking from this side. It is rather large for a bridge. Let me see if I can't narrow this down a little more. Actually, that might be almost perfect. It's not going to give us a whole lot of room to work with, but I don't really care. It's good enough. Now, the next thing I want to do is let's get some bay windows here, because they're one of the best windows you can get in the game. We're going to delete that for the moment, because I just realized I need to put something in there. Let me see. Maybe this will work. Renegade Bundy. I just told Dog you were streaming. Oh, thanks, man. It'll be fine. No, no, nothing was harm. No harm, no foul. Let's see here. Can I? Well, not right there, at least. But right here I could. And I'll just have to delete these two sides there. Like so. Oh, wait. Number 9. I have one of those already. I feel dumb. I feel dumb sometimes. Now, number 3. Let's find that little number. And we'll go forward. How far do we want to go forward? We could actually go a lot further forward. I need to rework this a little bit here. That's number 4. Do some lights. And then we'll set in one of these so I can add the bay windows without losing a whole lot. And then we'll go number 3. Ah, it's right there. That's annoying. And then there we go. I don't know. That looks a little big. It still looks big. It still looks absolutely massive. Let me check my reference photo here one more time, folks. Yeah, it's still like massively large. It's still very large. It shouldn't be that big. It's gonna have to come down like one more in terms of size. Let's take it down a notch. I've got an idea here. We're gonna start from this point. Let me add, because we just gotta come out like one more. That's it. Look right here. We just need that little triangular thing going on. Okay. Let's see. Actually, I have an idea. Let's go here. There we go. We'll drop one there. And then do this. Back to 9. Yeah, I don't think it needs to come out any more than that, honestly. That should do. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to 9. 9, 9, 9, 9. Do that. That's way better. That's a nice, much smaller um, deal going on there. And then here, and then there we go. And I just realized I have a problem. The frickin' deal underneath this is going to make building this thing an absolute total nightmare. Unless I just do this. Yeah, we can do that. That'll be fine. There we go. Check that out. That's much better. Much better. So now all I got to do is just kind of fill in this section here so I can figure out how I'm going to do the rest of this. Hold up now. Maybe I don't want to do that. Maybe I want to do this. And don't worry, Bundy. You can just go ahead and tell Dog that as soon as I can get there, I'm gonna probably try to get on. It may not be tonight, but I do plan on getting on. Because let's be frank here, Daddy needs a new Bastion tank. Okay, the new Bastions come out on a Helldivers, and Daddy wants his Bastion. Because I want to go f up some bots. Daddy wants to go hurt something. I think I might could get away with maybe building some type of side to side stair system right here. I don't know how I would get it up there, but I've got the room. There's just one problem. I got to figure out how I'm going to get oxygen up there. But yeah, that's looking much better. The bridge is actually much smaller now, so that's a relief than what it was. It's looking better. It is still a little bigger. I probably could cut this thing down just slightly more. And then it would just be a 3 point. But the problem is, like, it would only be 3 points. 3 hours and my POV will be up for you to review. Yeah, there's a. I'll have to talk to you, Bundy, about that because we run into a bit of a snag with the POV thing. I think I can fix it. I'm just gonna have to see what the problem is first. There's a very, very, very slight problem that I run into, and I just gotta do a little thing, just do something to figure something out with it. So let's see here. How are we gonna make this look better? I got an idea. Let's see what happens when I just slap this into place. Because we have these. And they're very good. I do like them. So I'm throwing all that in there. That. No, 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 not that. Not that. This. Like I said, it's not anything I think that is bad. It's like technical issues on my end, if you got to know what it is. Now, the very best part is we've got this entire section back here. I could put an antenna back here on the back of this. I've got to see. There's an issue going on, and I think I know what the problem is. I just have yet to figure out how to get that issue fixed. There we go. Got a nice antenna on the back of it there. It is looking a little bare. Let's take a look at my reference photo here. That's going to be interesting. So apparently on the top here, there's a section that's usually rounded and a large raised section. I think we can do the raised section. So let's see. The raised section goes the whole length of the back end to about the back. So let's do number 3. There we go. There we go. We're getting there. We're getting there. Now for this section. Now we know what that is. Just gotta delete this stuff anyway because it's not really helping the build at all. And sometimes that happens, you know, you get to a point where you've been doing it one way and then you're like, I don't think that works as well as I thought it would. Yeah, that's much better. I just got to replace a block or two. There we go. That works. Now comes the other fun part. According to this, I should have a little bit of room to work in something. Let's delete those two sides. Because then I could grab a corridor block of some type. I don't think 16 would work. I'll have to see. Let's see how this works. We can build one of those sideways staircases. Right about there. I could put a guardrail here. Where is my... Do that, and where's the... There we go. Now, number 5. I'll start with this. Okay, there we go. There we go. Put that there. And now I can come up here and walk up onto the ship deck from here, like so. So then we don't even need a... oh, no. I need this block there. And let's see. How are we going to do this stair-step system? Let's go back here. I got an idea. Now, my one big fear here is okay, if that was the wrong place to put a dadgum set of stairs. There we go. So now that's the first set of stairs. It won't work the other way. So then the next set of stairs is going to have to come down like this. So I'm going to need something. I need to get some blocks in here. So let's go ahead and see if we can find number 2 an air vent. Put that there. Let's see what Bundy's is in. Or Imperial Aura. Oh, cool. I love the Arcton's Cruiser. I tried building a 1-1 scale in Space Engineers, and I had all the interiors done. Looked like veins. But my game started to lag too much. Crappy PC and all. Yeah, that's one of the issues with larger builds. They start causing other problems. All right, we've got this giant section here done. I'm going to be able to drop down in. This is going to move back and forth. So one of the things I may do is I may take this out entirely and start moving it down. And then each one of these is just going to become a corridor that you can jump in and go down this little thing with. So that'll help. That'll help with a lot of things. And she does move fast. You can hop into this thing and just start driving it, and it will literally fly like a beast. I mean, it gives cruising in a cruiser a good name. So we'll go down through here. And I think the best thing to do is I need to start putting in or installing some things. One of the things I think I could install. We'll fix that up later. That's not what I need at the moment. I need this. Actually, let's head down here. Add a T-junction here somewhere. And then here we're just going to add a nice little curvature junction. I think that'll do at the moment. And so what I want to do, I've got to start running piping here and figuring this out. This is going to become a bit of a nightmare right here. Trying to run all this piping in. Fun times, fun times. So we got the top one. Let's just go ahead and start. We'll do it like this for now. So now we have that going. I can grab another staircase here. That's what we're going to do. We're going to slap a secondary staircase here, which is going to come around to there. And that's just to get through this first area here, where I'll probably put some duct working and stuff like that so we can go in and just work on certain things. And then we got to get down to about here, because about in here is where I'm going to have probably medical and stuff like that. I don't know. We've got plenty of room inside the Arctins. We can put a lot of different rooms in here, just for giggles. I mean, just for giggles, I can put some cool stuff in here. But I won't. I got to figure this thing out first. So now then, we're going to need to about there. So we're going to make everything kind of accessible from a centralized pillar system. See? Well, now we got a staircase that goes up and down. Now I just need to get on. Well, I need on the side where I can manipulate this thing a bit. I don't have everything run through it like it's supposed to. Wow, I didn't realize how tired I was. That's wild. But yeah, we got to get in there, and I will have to get a Bastion tank at some point. I really want that thing. That thing looks amazing. Okay. Now we got a set of pipes going up through here. Let's go check out our other pipes. Right through here. This is our central access waypoint. So then we've got our piping here. Let's pipe this up while we're at it. That's interesting. There we go. Just like that. And now we got piping to those units. Let me check out here for a second. This is where things are going to get interesting. See how deep this goes in. Come on, let me out. It goes in 1, 2, 3, 4 tiles in. So we got 1, 2, 4. Oh boy, that's gonna create some issues. This is about as far as that's gonna go, probably. Well, we could take it a little bit further. Let's go ahead and put that block back. Put that there. Wow, I'm running into all kinds of plumbing issues today. Okay. So, All right, we can come through here. And then the jumping off point here, where I have the jump off, what we can do here, we set a fan in. This is the hardest part right here, is figuring out how all this is going to work out. Oh, wait. Maybe not. Ah, we can do that. Okay, yeah, let's do that. We can add so that's going on, and then I can add a small room here. Let's add that right now. And that'll just be like the armory zone right there. Morgan Trial, how you doing? So yeah, we've got, let's see, everything that we've done over here should be done over on this side as well. So we've got an opening here. We'll add a whole nother door to this. We've got air that'll come in through there. I just got to do something with this top area. I don't know what to do with it. There are lights that I could pull. Let's see where these lights at. Those, and then there are these. And I think I might do something with this. Actually, let's go full Toffnigger light right there. Probably gonna need all those. We'll knock 2 of them out. And now we'll put those 2 in right there. That'll work. That'll work. That'll work. And then 9. There we go. And then all we got to do, put one little deal in there, and then just start pulling back here to the central, to my main central area here, which will allow me to go places. And then I can add some stuff now, because we'll be having this go underneath. And that can give me access to certain areas of the ship if I need them. And it is actually going way deeper down than I anticipated. But that'll be fine. That'll be fine. Figure some stuff out while I'm at it. Oh boy. Ah. Really tired. Or I'm feeling tired at least. I'm not going to need this central point for very much longer. But I do want to keep something centralized as I'm building and going forward. So we also have this going on, which is nice. What I may do is modify this into like some pipe works. At some point, this is just proof of concept on the staircase. It's like we can pop out here if I want, but then have a corridor that I can go around and go through there if I have to. Put like a little window on each side of it. It'll look great. Then I could probably also add a medical room right here. somewhere. I mean, it's not impossible. And that will give me a little bit more to play around with if I'm conservative with what I'm doing. So that'll give me something. I can probably set up like two layers of, have like a layer of beds down here at the bottom going across, right? And then do a different layer of something up top, so then we can have like a small mess at the bottom or something. Maybe I can. I've only got like 2 blocks left. I mean, well, if I make this a block in between, and then I turn this into its own floor, yeah, I can do that. We could just make a second floor right here, and then the rest of that right there just goes from there. That'll work out. And then everything else just gets filled in right here with corridor blocks or something like that. Yeah. There we go. It's coming together. It's coming together, folks. It's coming together. So now, let's get some Willis ducks going. There we go. That's one set of Willis ducks in. There we go. Nice little Willis ducks going in there. There's that. So that when you come down here, I'm going to have to take some of these out because it's creating an odd thing. There. Like I said, probably just be better off just doing it like that. And then I can come back and I can start cutting out stuff and fixing some things. Right now, that's how we're doing this. We have access to everything. So we can access any of that stuff. Remove that block. And then I just got to create a one-sided area for this. And then put a floor in there. And then that underground area here we'll have the opportunity to turn into something. I don't know what we'll turn into, but we'll have an opportunity. We'll turn into something. Something cool. Something cool. Something awesome. And then I may have this section here go upward. There was a oh, what was it? There was ship that are really cool design corridors I think about copying. And I may just copy those corridors here going into it. Whoa, now. Hang on, folks. Technical difficulties. Game kicked me out of where I was at. Not cool. Not cool. Boy. Yeah, that central shaft right there is going to be the main way up and down the ship. We got that figured out. So you see here, I got triple areas done. It's like number 6. We could drop in a refinery here and then just add up all of the blocks I need to run with it, all the upgrades. So I'll have one of these. I think what I'll do is we'll do this because then if I do this, I could just connect it right into a. I could then just connect this thing right into the one deal. If I look, I'm going to have to do is run this down slightly so that it'll connect and then run it across. And that should give me a nice little deal. Morgan Trial. So, weird day at work. My county's Republican caucus was held at my workplace today, which is weird because I work at a school. Well, not really. They do hold, you can hold uh, events like that in schools. It's not, you can go to a school and vote. So if you can go vote somewhere, a party can hold some type of event there. It's like with community centers and everything else. They can do that stuff. They can hold stuff there if they want. Oh boy, hold up now. We may have a fun time here. Let me look at this. I may have to drop this section down just a little bit more to cover it up. I'm wondering if I can do that or not. Let's take a look at the old reference photo again. And yes, we can go down a lot more. We can actually take this down a lot more. It's the first time I've ever heard of that happening from Morgan Trial. Yeah, there's a lot of things like in the United States. There are some laws in the U.S. that some people never heard of, which is why I usually look at some of these people who go out there and they're doing the whole protesting nonsense, and I tend to look at them and just kind of shake my head because they're going out there saying we'll do this for this person, we'll do that, and I'm like, you really want to show these people what you'll do? There is a law in the books in the United States called substitution, and or it's kind of like substitution is what it is. It's not entirely, but the way substitution works is if someone commits a crime, you can go you can go to the judge at their trial and you can offer to pay their debt, even up to the death penalty. A lot of people don't know that law exists. And I tend to look at some people that act like that, they're righteous and everything else doing stuff. And I'm like, yeah, you're not interested in doing what's necessary to help that person. Because if you were, this would be a whole different conversation. You know what I'm thinking here? This is a cruiser. How hard would it be? We do need a assembly line in here. We have one of our refineries right here, and then run like a line of assemblers on the other side. If I can remember how to do that. Run our assembler on the other side, all our little assemblies. Hold up now. Hold up now. Yeah, that's going to create an issue. So I could do this. Kind of cover it, but I guess this would be the best option because I can put more stuff on there. Yeah, it's whenever I hear people doing a protest on stuff, I'm just like, yeah, there is a way y'all could fix that, and it but most of them won't do it. It irritates the hell out of me when I hear stuff like that, and I realize, oh, yeah, they're telling me like all the stuff. Like if you're gonna do something, do it like this: go in there, drop off your donation, and just don't say anything. That's the easiest way to do it. It's the humblest way to do it. Don't ask for a placard or anything else. If they offer it, yeah, you should take it. Be nice to them. Other than that, I wouldn't worry about it. Let's see here. I would love to install one of these in long ways like this, but I don't think that's going to happen. Well, we could. There's just one problem. It just won't install very well. For one thing, we got all this extra tubing up there. Okay, like I said, I can put a refinery right here. Now we can run a corridor back over. We can just run the little corridor down to the refinery and run everything else. And that would make a whole lot of things work out pretty good. And with that, if I'm thinking correctly here, those corridors will move off and then I can have them join up somewhere else. And also, I believe, run my piping up through here. Well, the piping is going through the refinery, so that's not a big deal. That's not a big deal. Piping can go through there. Only problem I got is when I get to here. Now we can come down one more. In fact, let's go ahead and cut that out. Okay, so we've got this area all cut out so that I can add whatever I need to in here. Let's go ahead and we'll just chop this section out of here too. So there's not a whole lot in the way, and then I can just run that all the way down. Let's do that. Let's do it that way. Let's see, how much further could I go down with this? Am I equal with that? No, I don't think I am. Let's find out. Okay, we are just about there. So now if I put that in, I can have this entire bottom section covered. So let's just take that all the way to the final conclusion here. I don't think I'm going to need that outside piece. There, now we can pull that in, and we've got enough room. Look at this entire area down here. We can put in a factory and God knows what else. It looks amazing in here. This is what I'm talking about. Now, I don't know. I think I can probably run this up a bit more, and I might could come up one more row. I might could, actually. I can come up one more row. I could actually add two refineries in there with, let's see, how much room do I have? Can I do it? Badger, can you? No, I couldn't add all the extra bells and whistles right in there, but what I could do, I can add the refinery and everything down here like I wanted. At least one. And then we can add a couple more quote unquote assemblers, add a few more cargo containers, just like several small cargo containers. It's not going to hurt nothing. And then work from there. This is going to have to come down a lot more though. Let me let's go ahead and drop a control seat on here. Flip the Arc-10s here real quick. So I can now see the bottom of it. Looking at the bottom of it, I can say it's a girl. We'll go from there. All right. I'm joking. So we can pull this and start coming up over this way and just make this one big section. Let's go ahead and do that. Another thing I want to look at. Let me look at the. Okay, the Architens also doesn't have that on the central spine area, so we're going to have to fix that one spot. That's actually a lot better. We'll do that. Okay, let's grab some parts here. Now, how do we do this? It's 4 long, I believe. Yeah, let's do that. 4 long. Here we go. Then all I need is this here. 3, 4. Huh, that's interesting. That ain't gonna look right at all. Not from there. It's not perfect right there, but it'll just have to do. It'll just have to do. So I may bring this up a bit more. Because I think this needs to come down at least one more half a block. I believe. Let's see how far we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Four right there like so. And then if I want to get real complicated, let's just do this. let's go this way. And then I'll do something here to kind of tie all that together. Actually, I know what I can do here. I could, instead of going like, well, no, that'll have to work right there like that. And then I'll just, let's see. Oh yeah. Now I can have that underground store. I can have that underbelly storage on one. There. All right. Now I see some stuff I'm going to have to cut out, and I'll have to add some stuff to this block just to give it a little more greebling. But other than that, if I hop in here, we have the room. We have the room. Take that out and rework that a little bit. All right, let me see here. All right, there we go. There's our refinery. How much room do I have here? I don't have any room, actually. Let's just do that right there. So I can at least reach it. And then we'll do a couple of mods going on through there. I actually have a better idea. Let's tear that off there. Let's tear that out. Let's grab... No. Then we'll grab this guy here. With our refinery right there on the bottom, that'll make things work out good. And then I can also add a large cargo container. So make all this work out. And then I don't know, since I don't need... Well, I take that back. It's not necessary to have a centrally located deal on here. Where is the cargo container at? Do I have one on here? Apparently not. Apparently there is not a cargo container on here yet, folks. But there is now. I have a large cargo container now. I can run some corridoring through here. I think what we'll do is we're going to have that corridor come around, and we can run our assemblers through here. Let me show you what I mean. I think what I can do, I can run across here running the assemblers. The only kicker is getting to the refinery is going to be a bitch. We're going to have a very tough time reaching the refinery. And the fact that we have this just sitting right here is going to be a bit of an issue as well, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be down here like so, yeah. So that's going to become an issue real fast. But I can run a piping through here. Let's grab the assembler. Now we're not going to be able to put anything crazy on the assembler, I don't think. There we go. Put one assembler right there. Yeah, we can run that right there. And then just booyah. Put a second assembler right there. Check that out. So then we can just walk right on through here. And that's how you're getting into base. You've got this going down here. You got that one going up there. And then the only thing you need to do after that is just run a conveyor from here right up and to about right there. I'll just have to come down in and somehow I think that will have to come along there, maybe. Come out here and go down. Which we can then we can have a central corridor coming in through here, which can go up if I want to, or come down to about right here and be nice and even. Something cool to think about right there. But as I said, that's how the Architects is going to be looking here before long. Rotator over here. And this is ultimately what you're going to be seeing when it comes in to pick a fight with you. And like I said, there's more stuff we can do to this. We can grieve a little bit more. She's got a pretty good turn rate though. Getting this baby around. There we go. Get a nice side shot of it. I'm going to investigate it from the side. You can see right there how the shape is going to look. It's going to be good looking from just about any angle so far. We've gotten the shell about as right as it's going to get. And it looks good too. It looks great. And we're going to be able to put some serious guns on this thing and just really let her just tear into things. And of course, she's fast. See right there, we're still getting good speed off this thing. Side to side thrust, not so much. Not so much. Now I do want to redesign the engines a little bit at some point. I would like to rip off this back engine section here and modify them a little bit more. We're going to keep the same thruster loadout because I don't see a reason to mess with that much. But yeah, that's a pretty looking Arca 10s right there. She's pretty cool. If I can get this thing all the fixins and all the nonsense worked out of it, I will probably take this thing and load it up to either the workshop. Yeah, I'll probably load it to the workshop, and I think me and the guys may take this into the main uh, game we're playing, and we'll probably bring this thing out and we'll actually use it because I think I can build this thing with enough firepower on it that if we run into the what is it, Factorum battleship, we probably could take it with this thing. But I plan on doing stuff like season 2 of A Pirate's Life is going to be a whole lot different. That's going to be a different run right there. We're still going to have the same shenanigans. The hope is by the end of the week, I'm looking at servers and stuff and trying to figure out how to do it. By the end of the week, I plan on having a server done because it is hell on my PC trying to run this. This means that the guys will be able to get on, they'll be able to do more stuff, we'll be able to build more things. I'll be able to hop on whenever I want, and they'll be able to hop on whenever they want. We'll be able to just build stuff. And y'all may not see all the builds that'll be happening, but one of the things you will get to see, this will also free things up for different things to happen during the week. So I may try to cause like an event or something to happen while we're there, so the guys we all can like figure out what to do with it and try to adapt to that particular situation. Hmm. But that's going to be kind of the methodology of that, figuring out how to get some stuff to happen on there, and that in conjunction with everything else I'm doing at the moment. I've got a lot of things going on, and I might be trying to get a new job at some point. So pray for me on that. The new job means my current job has a whole lot of schedule issues. Every time I try to make something happen or do something, it is just not happening. And the new job that I'm looking at, I would have a more consistent schedule, which means I could do more things. I can plan for more stuff. I would have about a couple hours a day where I'm not waiting. Because part of the problem with my current job doing construction is when you're doing construction, you don't know when you're going to work at times. You might be sitting there going, "Oh, hey, I'm going to go to work today. I might get to work at 10 o'clock. The next day, I may get to work at 8. And the day after that, I might get to work after 12." That's just how construction works sometimes. Now, one of the things that we're probably also going to do, I'm probably going to crunch in these areas a bit so they're a lot more compact and build these sections out. And it will do some more greebling at some point because these are sections here that'll have to be kind of reworked to make them all work out and do some cool stuff with them. And that's where the 8 main guns are going to go. And then I got to figure out a cool way to build those 8 guns. And then here, I got to figure out what I'm going to do with this. I may just run some padlocks up there, up on top. I've got enough room there to run in there, and then I've got enough room to run. Well, no, I don't actually. I can get close. And then we got O2 generators back there in the back. Like I said, I do want to redo these engines at some point because I've got all this kind of wonky, like right about here when I was building. It's kind of wonky right here where this is at. And then we've got our main engine, our main hydrogen storage right in here. And I'd like to modify that a little bit. Do all this stuff and then work a corridor in here where we can walk around through all this. Somewhere in here add gravity. So it's not that big an issue. And then start filling and building. I mean, we've got plenty of area to build in. And I would like to right about here to about here build something big enough that we can actually store a couple of really good fighters in. I'm looking at this. I want to say that I could add a door here. Let's see, what kind of doors could I add there? Can I do the big doors? Oh, look at that, folks. Mmm. Hmm. Don't tell me these go all the way to the top. Oh, that's cool. Dip in just slightly, and we could run an actual massive unit out of there. That's cool. And that would actually give me enough headroom right there with the 3 wide. We could put some kind of small fighter in here or something that could get in and out pretty easily. That would work out perfectly. And then that gives us a pretty decent sized fighter bay. Let me just lock that right there. That's big enough we can put a fighter in here, or if I push this back a little more, we can do 2 fighters. So that's interesting right there and how that would work. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So the fighter couldn't be very big, but we could put something like an A-wing or something in here, which I've got plenty of those. We set us up an A-wing or some kind of ether sprite like ship. I could add an ether sprite or something small, and we could fly it right out of there. We couldn't put an arc. We can't put an Arc 170 in there, but we could put something small. Like I said, something kind of tiny. We could put in here and make it all work, and it'd be awesome. But so far, she's looking pretty good. Like I said, I just got to get a little more time. That means also the live streams. If I do the new schedule and I get this new job, the live streams are going to change from at late at night when I'm like exhausted, and you know how I kind of like slur everything and sound like a drunk. Then they'll change to I can do some of them in the morning. So I can start doing these builds and start doing some of the other stuff. And I wouldn't like Saturdays and Sundays. I'd probably do like Helldiver stuff in the afternoon or something like that because I think the job will allow me to be off on weekends. So weekends are still mine. The thing is, the job starts at 3 o'clock and ends at 12, which I'm already a night owl anyway, so it's not that big a deal. But if it gets done, I have a lot more stuff. I have a lot more time, and what I mean by a lot more time, I mean I have the ability to manage my time a little bit better than what I am now. So that's a whole lot better than what I was doing. Let's uh, let's take this out. I'm just rambling y'all about life at the moment. Put that there. I think my plan was to turn one of these, turn this into its own floor. And then I can convert this area into bathrooms back here. Somewhere along the way, add some stuff in here. That'll work out really good. Oh boy, I'm stuck on the stairs. So then this will be crew quarters right in here on one side, crew quarters on the other. May do medical internally. We've already got storage for that, and then I've just got to run some piping through here. Let's go ahead and corridor this area off like so. Then just run a little bit of piping through here, and then start connecting everything up along the ship area. Now I won't be able to connect there. But if I come back here, I can connect to this, I believe. And then this is going to go that way. I've got to somehow connect a lot of this stuff up. I need to pull this corridor out here, run a pipe this way, pull it out to here and hook into that. And then just have a series of hallways going through here until I get to the main hangar area where we'll be storing everything. Or what I could do, I could convert a lot of this into hangar space. And then we could have a serious amount of... Actually, there's enough room in here. If I could pull that off... Where are my holes for my... Oh, hey. Hey. These are where my guns are. I can actually convert the entire inside of this thing into hangar space. It would almost be like a Venator to an extent. And we could have a serious amount of fighters in this thing. Ooh, that just sounds so much fun. Having a massive number of fighters inside just to launch out the front end. And I've got enough room here, I could add like secondary fighter storage in a lot of these areas. It wouldn't take much. Better yet, let me look here for a minute. Where's our Gladius? Come on. How's this baby fit in here? Let's see. Come on. What the heck is wrong with you? See, we could actually store a couple of fighters in here if I build this thing right. If I build it right, I could squeeze a few more fighters in here. If nothing else, we'll have a series of small fighters in here that'll, you know, be useful for some things. And then we can start building other things while we're at it. We can launch fighters from in here. That'll be cool. Doubtless we'll have to build some type of specialized fighter to launch from this thing. So either the Gladius could be launched from here. I could also put some type of launch boat. There's actually enough room here. There's honestly enough room. Let me check something else too on it. Hmm. Like, tell me it's not so big it can't fit in there. Oh, it won't fit. Yeah, that ain't gonna fit. So we need something smaller. We're gonna need like a small fighter that we can slip in there and work with. So that ain't gonna work. Let's see. Yeah, this will almost fit. I would have to do something to the launch mechanism to make it launch a little bit easier. Just the teeth just aren't wide enough for it. We'd have to build a special fighter just for this ship, just so we can launch stuff out of it. So that's how that's gonna work out. But yeah, that'd be that'd be how we could get this ship to run a little bit double duty, a little bit double duty. But it works. This size works pretty good in Space Engineers for a capital ship. It's decent size. It's a small capital ship. Honestly, it's not that. It's not meant to be like mega large or anything like that. And we can use it. I'll have to, like I said, have to keep modifying it. Have to keep putting stuff where it needs to go. But it's turning out to be a quite a capable ship. So hopefully we can get this thing done. But anyway, folks, I hope you guys enjoyed being here on the live stream with me tonight. I'm really tired. I don't know what it is. I'm just getting hit with fatigue right now, and it could be the job that I'm working is all physically demanding right now at the moment. That's another thing. I won't have to do all that weird physically demanding stuff. I'll actually have to exercise regularly. But yeah, I'm hoping you guys enjoyed the live stream. Watch this Arctins build get kind of done, getting the it's taking more and more shape like the Arctins. So we're going to be able to do a lot more with that eventually and get this thing, war ready. I suppose be the best way to say it. There will be some extra carving done. I'm going to do a little bit extra carving on it and remodeling some of the areas so we can add the guns in and make it all look good. But yeah, that's how this going. If you do enjoy the content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, I have early access for 99 cents a month. You guys can get early access to all the videos. You can watch everything that is put on the channel as soon as it's done. And also, It's a Pirate's Life has a ton of episodes right now for the first season. First season is going to be kind of slow getting there, but then I'm also coming up with some concepts on how I can improve that. And we're season two, if everything goes right, which will be in another year. Season two, you're going to see us dealing with a whole lot of other problems. It's going to be episodic stuff where we'll have a bunch of things happening, and you guys will get to watch it. You'll get to see some really cool stuff happen. So that'll be something to look forward to. Anyway, as usual, folks, I am Badger Wild saying stay safe, stay frosty, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye for now.